What is up, everybody out there in HeroClix Land? This is Scott Porter back for another day of our HeroClix unboxing series for the brand new Marvel HeroClix set, 10 of Swords. This event is massive. It is so far-reaching in the fact that it is the first major crossover event for the X-Men since House of X and Powers of 10 by Jonathan Hickman, by Tini Howard, writing Excalibur, by Ben Percy, writing amazing stuff in Wolverine. You've got Jerry Duggan. You've got a number of writers, Zeb Wells on Hellions, just contributing to this huge mutant crossover event. It's massive in the books, and it's massive in HeroClix form. There is so much goodness coming with this set. The miniatures game that we unboxed yesterday on day 3 is so cool in how thematic it is. I think WizKids in that miniature set did something that they haven't done as of yet. They nailed theme on theme on theme on theme on theme. And it is just, it really feels like a campaign, like a quest. It feels so cool. The sword bearers were present in it, and that was very, very exciting to me. That's what I really wanted to see in this set, was a lot of, because I love story and lore so much, was see so many of the characters that are involved solely in 10 of Swords in this set. But I think I'm wrong about that. I think coming into it, that's what I wanted to see. I think on the back side of this, I'm very excited that we're getting this set as more of a, not catch-all necessarily, but of a tie-up loose ends of certain characters we haven't gotten before or seen in a long time in the Marvel, kind of multiverse, and I mean, not multiverse, in the Marvel Mutant verse. I just taught my kid about tongue twisters yesterday, and here I am just flubbing everything. The Marvel Mutant verse. There are a lot of characters that they deserve a little bit of time in the sun. And because this particular set, 10 of Swords, is also tied to an organized play event that happens over the course of 3 months in August, September, October, I think WizKids made the right decision to give us some other things in here. Orcus Soldier. That's great. That fills out Orcus. That's awesome. We've got a couple of Hellions we haven't seen before. We've got the Fury, which is definitely involved in this particular event, but not in a huge, huge way, but ties back to way, way old stories and is a part of Otherworld. We've got some new Danger Room constructs, which is really building on a cool element that the game has that we haven't seen in a while. We have a new mutant like Danny, who, we've seen Karma before, but what has she been doing in New Mutants? And it's kind of cool to get her in this. So for me, I think this set is awesome, and I can't wait to see what else we pull today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the unboxing series so far. So far, we've unboxed the Dice and Tokens pack on day 1. On day 2, we unboxed the Play at Home kit with Pyro. On day 3, we unboxed the miniatures game. On day 4, WizKids sent me an envelope. I didn't know what was in it. I opened it up. It's 7 additional tarot cards. And not just from the booster set. They are from the organized play event way, way down the line. I mean, I'm talking we have month 3 booster set tarot card that we get to preview today. So not only are we a couple of months ahead of the actual set releasing, we're also like 5 months ahead of a tarot card releasing, which is pretty cool. And you're going to get to see what that is today. And then tomorrow, I'm going to unveil what all the legacy cards for the set are going to be. And that's going to be on day 5. So if you haven't watched days 1, 2, and 3, go back and watch it. What am I hoping for today? We haven't pulled a Prime. I'd love to see another super rare. And of course, always, I am rooting for a chase. But at this point, I would love to see another sword. I'm very interested. How many tarot cards per brick are we going to get? How many swords per brick are we going to get? And we're going to get that answer by the end of day 5. So I hope we get a little more information about that today. Outside of that, man, the world's my oyster. Like, quite frankly, everything that I'm pulling I think is really, really cool. And I can't wait to see what we pull today. Maybe some more rockin' sword bearers. That would be really cool. But outside of that, man, sky's the limit, right? Okay, let's see what we go. Yes. Okay. We got a Prime. Okay. Very excited. We also got a tarot card. Okay. So let's see. Is that another construct? What the heck? Okay, we got a Green Priestess. We talked about them a couple days ago. Boom. We have Iceman. We talked about him. he's one of those figures that is not necessarily part of this event, but he's important to the mutant mythos. We have now, though, Omega Sentinel. You know, we saw her a couple of sets ago, but one of the biggest threats to all of mutant kind, so very exciting to see. Now, we have, oh, this is just Jean Grey. Oh, this is like, yes, like mind projection Jean Grey. I see. It's exciting to see her here. We've seen a bunch of Cyclops. I was wondering if we would see Jean. And now we have the Prime Captain Britain Rogue. Yes, that's awesome. Okay, all right. I'm going to pull all these back. We've seen Iceman already. We've seen the Green Priestess already. So I'm going to set them to the side. Now, I think the first thing I'm going to look at is actually going to be Karima. And Omega Sentinel, oh man. There was a time when like she worked on the mutants. I wish, oh well, it is what it is. She's a bad guy all the way, super bad. She is the actual like view into the future of what is going to happen to mutantdom. You know, all of the tech sentient stuff is going to take over and just eradicate everything else that has living tissue, really, honestly. And she's a big part of that. She's on the vanguard of that, working with Orchis, doing all these things, helping them, you know, push their agenda forward. But unbeknownst to Orchis, like, all of that's going to turn on humanity. They're helping her develop their own end. And so that's a really interesting thing to me. I wish, she's such a cool character. I wish she wasn't bad guy. Anyway, Omega Sentinel, here we go. Take a look at her card. We've got Karima Shapendar. She has Sentinel, Detective, Future, Police, and Robot. She's set number 27. She has a rally die. Remember that color blue around it. Free, remove one of Omega Sentinel's rally dice to choose a friendly character within range. The chosen character has, the PD team ability until your next turn. This is an uncommon Omega Sentinel here. On the back, remember, with rally die, the color in the background means something. This means that it's blue for every friendly attack roll. You can look at her dial there. I'll turn it back over and look at the front, because we have a lot of game mechanics taking place in this set. So remember, whenever a 1 is rolled on a finalized attack roll by an ally or a friendly character, you can place that 1 rally die on here, and you can pull it to then give somebody within range the police team ability, which is pretty cool. Okay, so there you go. Pretty simple, actually, version of Omega Sentinel. She's a little more powerful than that, but we've seen that. We've seen some scaled down dials in this set already. A lot of lower pointed characters. I see a lot of big teams coming out of this as far as the mutants go. We're going to go with Jean Grey next. Of course, we're going to save the Prime for last. Jean Grey here. Set number 29. Phoenix Force, X-Factor, X-Force, X-Men. Seeing enemy threats is her trait, Empower. When Jean Grey is targeted by an attack after resolutions, you may place her adjacent to a friendly character within range. Okay, that's cool. So she can get out of dodge. It's kind of showing her being out of her body, a psychic projection kind of thing. Now, her and Cyclops and Cable, their storyline pushes along quite nicely in Ten of Swords and in Cable, the actual solo series. I was like, I don't read a lot of solo series. I like team dynamics. That's what I really go for. Tell me in the comments below, do you prefer a solo book or a team book? Tell me right now. Comments below, do you prefer a solo book where you follow one character like a Spider-Man or a Wolverine or a Cable, or do you like a team book? Now, I am of the opinion that a lot of the solo books try and build a team around their main character anyway, but I am a team book guy. I want strong personalities, I want to see interaction, and I want to see threats that take multiple people to battle. You know, some of the super powerful characters that have their own book are kind of boring to me because they've like catch-all powers where they can defeat anything that they need to. Like Iron Man, unpopular opinion, not necessarily one of my favorites to read. I love the idea of Tony Stark having to deal with other people, but him on his own, I love the character. But I love him in the Avengers. I love him in that team situation, or I love him as a part of the Illuminati, where he's got to deal with Reed, and he's got to deal with Strange, and he's got to deal with this conversation of technology versus magic. Like, how does this whole thing work? Anyway, I'm a team book guy. Tell me in the comments below, team book or solo book guy. But Cable's solo book is great because it's him making mistakes, it's him being a kid, of course, but it's him also forging these relationships with parents that he never had. And it's just something really cool, and they've got a solid grasp on it. And seeing the pride in Cyclops and Jean with Cable, and seeing the three of them together, and seeing them push like up into the Sword Station and battling something on their own as a family unit is just something really cool. Because we look at mutantdom as like a big family, sure, but really what it is a collection of orphans who have been, refused by their own families, or have had to be placed with, Xavier's school because their family can't give them what they need. And so you have this forced family. And yes, I know, family is what we choose, right? But it's cool to see that actually family element there, especially when Cyclops and Jean were robbed of it such a long time ago. And so I really recommend that series, and I'll stop blabbing on about it, but I really, really love it. Okay, Captain Britain Rogue, without further ado. Now, is this Rogue from our universe? Is this our Rogue who is a Captain Britain? No, nope, no, it is not. First of all, this costume's awesome. This costume's so cool. Excalibur, X-Men, and Mystical. You have Excalibur, Mystical, Protectors. Mystics, but only during range attacks. Captain Britain Rogue has Safeguard Mystics. Okay, awesome. Offered the Amulet of Right. Charge Flurry. When Captain Britain Rogue hits, until your next turn, she has friendly characters within range that she cares a keyword with have Safeguard Outwit. What? That's awesome. Surviving in Otherworld, Precision Strike, and Steel Energy. And for the core, Perplex and Enhancement. Okay. Flip it over here, look at the dial. Huge numbers too. I love her. I love her. And you see that cover there. You see that Excalibur number 10, right? Okay, what happens is, we've talked about this a little bit, Apocalypse's quest to get gate open, an external gate opened into Otherworld, because then you can charge through Otherworld. You can try and get into Amenth and free Arakko. He can see his wife, Genesis, and their children, the Horsemen. And, for all of that to happen, a certain string of events has to be in place as well. And it's kind of him playing chess with Saturnine, right? He goes in, he gets rid of Morgan Le Fay, he puts Jamie Braddock, this complete wild card, in charge of Avalon. And Jamie Braddock is such a cool and interesting character, and I hope we get Jamie Braddock in this set. I mean, we have to, right? But he's another one of those reality warpers. You're not really sure what his limits are. Mad Jim Jaspers is one of those, Legion, all of those, right? Well, when Jamie's on the throne, he decides that he's going to push into another reality, or create his own universe, or push into another universe and start to finagle with it. And he puts, you start reading this issue of Excalibur, and you think that it is our Excalibur. You think it is our Betsy Braddock, our Jubilee, our Richter, our Gambit, and our Rogue. And they're in this place, they're in Britain, and Britain has just declared war against Krakoa because missiles have been launched. Biochemical, missiles have been launched from Krakoa targeted towards the UK. And these facsimiles, these, made-up versions of our crew in this tiny little made-up universe, they believe that it's our, universe. They believe that it's Marvel 616. They think this is really happening. This is about to be war between the UK and Krakoa, and it's everybody's worst nightmare, and Betsy's especially. And in the midst of this, issue, you start to figure out things are a little weird. Things are wrong. This is definitely an alternate reality. I don't know what's going on here. You find out Jamie's in charge. Betsy gets pissed off, and she attacks Jamie Braddock. And he turns around, and he's like, how dare you attack the monarch? How dare you attack the king? And he kills Betsy. When he kills her, when he defeats her, he hits her so hard at the Amulet of Right. The other 4 members of Excalibur get on their knees around her, and they're weeping and they're crying, and the Amulet of Right splits in 4 and goes to the 4 of remaining members, and it creates this new Captain Britain Corps. Well, Saturnine in her Starlight Citadel has been trying to figure out how to create more Captain Britons on her own, but she only wants it to be Brian Braddock, the most pure of heart, the most noble, right? And she sees these 4 get created somewhere in the Omniverse, and she's like, this should not happen. They need to be destroyed. So she goes and gets them, brings them to Otherworld, and basically makes them even more real by placing them in Otherworld, and has them prisoner. And so this is the Captain Britain Corps she's trying to avoid. Well, if you speed towards the end of Ten of Swords, Betsy Braddock, who she kills, basically, she sabotages Betsy Braddock in the very first competition of the Ten of Swords storyline and shatters her into a million pieces so she can put this stained glass puzzle back together and hopefully bring the Captain Britain Corps back of all Brian Braddocks. Well, it turns out that these anomalies are not going to be anomalies anymore. They are going to be actual Captain Britons. And it's mostly Betsy as the new Captain Britain Corps, but also with some other random heroes. Some animals, a goose. And so this Captain Britain Rogue being here is awesome because it's endless possibilities for the new Captain Britain Corps. I hope we get a Captain Britain, Betsy, sure. But if this means we're also going to get a Jubilee, or the Jubilee has the most awesome glasses. Anyway, okay. All right. We got a Prime, guys. We got a Prime. That's awesome. Okay. Now, we also got the Queen of Swords tarot card. The Queen of Swords, and you can see her there. Storm, of course. When a character attacks, its rolls of 10 and 11 are critical hits. That's awesome. Okay. Do you know who else grants that power? The Scott Porter Bystander Token. Yes, there is a Scott Porter Bystander Token in the game. We made it for our special HeroClix for Huntington's event weekend that we do every year in May to raise money for the Huntington's Disease Society of America. And I am an actual bystander token, a legal bystander token in the game. And one of my special powers is may all your rolls be critical hits, where not only are boxcars critical hits, but 10s and 11s are as well. And now I see that Storm, me and Aurora, we share, Aurora, share a special superpower. Look at me. Look at me. With Storm, just, we do the same thing. That's pretty cool. Okay, that's awesome. All right, moving on. Let's see. Next booster. I'm flying high, guys. I did not expect. So we will get Rogue, a member of Excalibur. That Excalibur team is really, really cool. I hope we get Druid Richter. Richter is in Excalibur, and he goes to Otherworld. And when he goes there, he communes with like these druids. Basically, he basically becomes a druid. And then when he sees the green green priestesses, they also recognize him as one of their own, almost more of like one of their own than like a mutant, which is kind of cool because some mutants do that. They go to Otherworld and they feel like they've really found their place where they couldn't connect on Earth, but they do connect in Otherworld, and it's a very cool thing. So I hope we get a Richter. Richter's got his powers back, and man, he's great. He's really, really great. I love him. He has a very close relationship with Apocalypse. Whoa, what do we have here? We got a sword. Oh, we got a super rare. Yes! All right, okay. Oh, this is awesome. Whoa, roulette. What? We are getting some random characters in here. Okay, we have a Sevalith vampire. I talked about the vampires yesterday a little bit. So there's a Sevalith vampire from one of the foul kingdoms of the fair and foul kingdoms of Otherworld. You have Colossus, who I did not expect to see. Did not expect to see him at all. You have Roulette. We have another Magneto, but this one in his classic attire, and actually a different sculpt than the other Magneto that we have in this set. So bravo, WizKids. The Trial Magneto sculpt and this sculpt are two different ones. So we're not just seeing characters have sculpts just doubled up on. That's really, really cool. The last one we get, though, is Bay. Oh, Bay. Let's go. Bay the Blood Moon, future wife, spoiler alert, I know this whole thing has been spoilers, of Doug Ramsey, of Cypher. Yeah, so the second competition of the Ten of Swords is not a sword fight. It's not a fight to the death. The first competition is Betsy Braddock versus Iska the Unbeaten, and that is a battle to the death, but the second one is not a battle to the death. It is a wedding, joining Arakko and Krakoa together for good. And it is between Cypher, who everybody was on Krakoa's side was worried about losing, and Bay the Blood Moon, who is a deadly, deadly warrior and owner of something called the Doom Note. Really, really interesting stuff I'll tell you about in a second here. Man, I'm flying high right now, guys. This is awesome. Sebelith Vampire, look at their card first. Yes. The land of the Sebelith is very dark, very, very mysterious. Nobody crosses its borders. It's all vampires. They have their own society, and they have their own, kingdom and all these noble houses and everything. The politics within Sebelith are very extreme. I talked about yesterday how now I think Death, Horseman of Apocalypse, Son of Apocalypse, is now also a vampire, which is really, really cool. But this is... look at that, 25 points for a 5-click-long character with stealth, with blades, and an 11 attack. Exploit weakness for 25 points. This is a great generic. That's awesome. Okay, so you've heard me talk about the fair and foul kingdoms of Otherworld a couple of times. There are 12 kingdoms, and sometimes they can get invaded and just completely flipped upside down, and a race can be eliminated and they can be removed, and then you can, claim that you are now the spokesperson for that kingdom. I believe there are only 12 kingdoms at any given time of Otherworld. The Starlight Citadel sits up above it. That's where Saturnine or whoever the Omniversal Magistrix lives. And then they have to kind of get involved with the politics of all of these 12 kingdoms that kind of look like a clock, right? And it kind of ticks like that too. And at any moment, like a kingdom can be fair or foul, right? It just depends. And they kind of turns like a hub, right? Because that's what Otherworld is. Otherworld is this omniversal hub. And up in the Starlight Citadel are doorways to each of the different universes in the Omniverse. Each of them is supposed to have a protector, a Captain Britain, but down in the Fair and Foul Kingdoms, there are also a lot of other kinds of beings. There'll be alien of nature, vampires, the Fury have this sun. Literally, they have a sun in their realm in Otherworld. They have in Fury the Everforge. It is an actual burning star that the Fury keep in their little realm. Nobody goes in there. Nobody messes with it. The Sebelith, they're all vampires, but they're not running around running amok or anything like that. They keep to themselves. Roma Regina is where Roma lives. It's an upside-down kingdom. It's really, really beautiful. It's a really cool place to go. Her and Merlin are having a battle. Merlin is now, I think, is it Fae? I think is where he is. He used to be in Avalon. You have Avalon where Jamie Braddock is. You have Blightspoke with Sheriff Whitechapel and all these different kind of like spelunkers and pirates and stuff like that. And you have the Crooked Market run by Mad Jim Jaspers, who, man, I hope we get Mad Jim Jaspers in this set. Oh, that guy is uber powerful. Like, even more than... He's not as powerful as Franklin Richards, and we'll talk about Franklin real quick. Franklin can make pocket universes all his own. Mad Jim Jaspers can't do that, but what he can do within his own universe and how he can change a universe just seems endless. However, the Mad Jim Jaspers we have in this seems to be more controlled by Saturnine than I would have expected. And I think that's because at the end of that Alan Moore, Alan Davis storyline, she takes a little bit of his DNA, and I think she brought Mad Jim Jaspers back on her own. He runs the Crooked Market. These are all just theories of mine, but I think that's how she's able to control him, because Saturnine in this story is very, very powerful. But anyway, those are the fair and foul kingdoms, and they move around. That vampire is a really good generic based off of one of the coolest little kingdoms that you have. So that's awesome. I can't believe we got 5 figures we haven't seen yet in this. This is great. Colossus. Colossus didn't want any part of Krakoa when Dawn of X kind of first started. He got sucked in because Mikhail Rasputin, his brother, who I don't know if we'll see, but if we see Mikhail Rasputin, God, this Colossus looks great. Look at that. The way it shines, but all of the lowlights as well. You can see all the striation. That is great. Such a simple sculpt, but such a great sculpt. Wow, I'm really impressed. I like that. I like the way the light shines off of this one. That's really cool. Anyway, okay, enough of that. He's got Excalibur, X-Force, X-Man in armor. He's got Rally, awesome. Free, remove one of Colossus Rally dice to use support as free. Yes. Defending my new way of life. Stop and defend. So that's a really cool interpretation of Colossus that we haven't usually seen. Whoa, he's only 4 clicks long? What the heck? 50 points. I expect him to be a little longer if he's going to be like a support, because he can use the X-Men team ability to heal people. He can also use that rally die to heal people. He's got support near the end of his tile. I mean, that's crazy. God, that 19 on that stop click, though. That 19 with defend. That's pretty great. Still 50 points. That's awesome, though. And it's a great interpretation of Colossus because, like I said, Colossus didn't really want any part of Krakoa. He was in the Savage Land. He was a farmer, he was a farmer before he became an X-Man. If you remember when Professor X went to get Colossus, he's like, dragging this massive, farming tool behind him. And I remember he loves that. He loves that peace. And he's had to be a fighter for so long. He doesn't want any part of it anymore. So he decides to decline the invitation to come to Krakoa, and then eventually gets pulled into the pages of X-Force and has to come back for this reason or that. But I love that take. That's a Colossus that we've never seen before as far as HeroClix goes, so that's awesome. Okay, Roulette. Roulette is another one of those original Hellions that we have not seen except for once ever in HeroClix form. Again, I hope this means that we get Empath. That's awesome. But Roulette, Hellions and X-Men. Luck, when needed the most. Once per game, Roulette may re-roll a critical hit anywhere on the map. Once per game, Roulette may re-roll a critical miss anywhere on the map. Okay, pretty cool. Basic dial. Now remember, these old Hellions, they kind of are one-trick ponies. Just like the original New Mutants kind of were as well. Right? Some of them New Mutants, like now, you would think that Mirage and Karma would maybe be combined into one new hero, right? Because it's mental projection powers, mind control, that kind of thing. But back then, it was enough for a character to have one thing that they did and be a part of a team in that way. And that's really what Roulette or Tarot, Empath, that's really what they all were. So anyway, pretty cool. Okay. Moving right along, we've got Magneto here. Magneto. Acolyte Brotherhood of Mutants. Okay, this is Magneto in the old days as a Brotherhood of Mutants recruiter. Okay, choose a character with the Brotherhood of Mutants keyword in your KO area that hasn't been chosen for this effect and wasn't generated by a recruiter effect. If you do, generate a character with the Brotherhood of Mutants keyword from your sideline that has a lower point value than the chosen character. This game, the generated character can't be replaced and your opponent scores them immediately instead of when they are KO'd. So a way to bolster your forces if you have already lost somebody, you have somebody sitting in your KO area, and it's all going to be, Brotherhood or one of the other, acolytes could do that too. there you go. Pretty good piece. But that recruiter effect coming back into play, and this time for Magneto. We've had some other call-in effects for Magneto, and this is just another one to add to the pile. Okay, last but not least, we have Bay the Blood Moon, wife of Douglas Ramsey, which is pretty cool. The Doom Note is one of her powers. The most interesting thing about Bay the Blood Moon, and the reason that they're joined together, Cypher and her, is that the Doom Note wants to be heard, but it's not a language. And so when Bay speaks, he can't understand her because it's a sound. It's not a language. And so for the first time ever, he's allowed to just look at someone and try and learn who they really are without understanding it right away, immediately. And he is enamored with her. He is just over the moon, love at first sight. He doesn't know he's going to end up being married to her. She is so loyal and noble of heart that once she is bonded to him through marriage, it is something she will never turn back on. So his immediate attraction to her, because he can't understand her, and her sense of nobility and loyalty is in the moral structure of who she is, means that once they are married, it's not just a fluke. It's not a reality show thing. It's not, oh, we give him 3 months. This seems like it's something that was meant to be, that Hickman and the rest of the X-Writers planned to join them together for good. Like, this is something that I feel was immediately unbreakable. And when you see at the end of Ten of Swords, what ends up happening, Apocalypse has to battle Genesis in the final sword fight. It's to the death. He ends up winning. She puts on the Annihilation helmet, which is this helmet that controls all the hordes of Amenth. The demon hordes start charging in. The summoners, which are Arakan mutants that were born on Amenth soil, that are allowed to or able to summon massive monsters and these giant, unbeatable, unspeakable things from Amenth, they start to attack. Well, Bay, her immediate thought is to pick up Doug and run as far from the battle as possible. She is going to lay down her arms to protect him at all costs. And then somehow he convinces her to fight on his side against Amenth, and so she switches. And I think that this is a bond that's really cool. Anyway, Bay the Blood Moon, our second super rare. Is this only our third super rare? Third. This is our third super rare. Bay the Blood Moon, Sword Bearer. This character starts the game with any sword equipment equipped for 5 points. Doom Note, giant reach of 2, quake, but deals 3 damage instead of 2. Yeah, like I said, the Doom Note lives inside of her. It can level mountains. It wants to be heard. She's got hypersonic. That's great. 12 attack. She's got exploit weakness. And then, of course, you have to think of this dial as not being 75 points, but being 80 points, because she starts with Seducer, her blade, which is actually not just a sword. It's this giant, like, double-edged spear thing. There's Bay, by the way. You can see a little closer of her. Her helmet is very fearsome. She pulls off her helmet. She's, like, super hot. Like, for Doug, Doug's, like, doesn't know what he's going to see under the helmet, and then he pulls it off, and he's like, "You're beautiful," he says, which is hilarious. But yeah, the Seducer gives you Blades, Claws, Fangs, and when the character uses it after resolutions, this character may use Mind Control as free, but only to target a hit character. So charge in, or hypersonic, I think, geez Louise, hit them and then Mind Control them after you do so. Wow. It's 10 if you're not her, it's 5 if you are her. That's awesome. Yeah, some of my favorite moments in the entire Ten of Swords storyline are Bay and Doug moments. At the dinner they have the night before the actual Ten of Swords event starts, Doug sees her and is looking at her, and he is like worried about, he's like, I hope I don't have to fight somebody like that. And she walks by him and in her own language says, do not give me that look, soft boy, and walks away. which I just think is hilarious that she says something like that so early. And then there are some other really funny moments between the two of them. One of the better threads within all of Ten of Swords. Okay, as promised, we've gone through the boosters. It's now time. We've only got 2 boosters left. I can't believe time is flying already. But here we go. We have some additional tarot cards here. The first one, and this is awesome. And this was a little bit of a mislead by Marvel, but here is Brew, pictured as the King of Swords. When a character hits with an attack roll of doubles, after resolutions, remove an action token from them. So when a character hits with an attack roll of doubles, after resolutions, take an action token away from them. That's the King of Swords. And that Brew sitting on a throne. Now, of course, Brew he's a brewed mutant all his own. And he was really around in Wolverine and the X-Men. And I love Brew. I love Brew so much. But a king egg was brought back from space and Brew ate it. And now he's a king of the brood. So that's awesome. But it was a little bit of a little red herring, I guess. Like, we thought Brew was going to be a part of Ten of Swords, but he ended up not being a part of it at all. Okay, here's the next one. Queen of Swords. Oh, we already saw this one. We did see this one, right? Did I pull this? Queen of Swords. When a character attacks, rolls of 10 or 11. Yeah, I made a big deal of it today. Okay, so we saw that one already. That's in boosters. So is the King of Swords, the Queen of Swords. They're both in the booster bricks. And then we also have the 9 of Pentacles. This one is Kate Pryde there with Lockheed. When a character uses sidestep, they may move up to 3 squares instead of 2. That's a big deal. That's a very, very big deal. The prevalence of sidestep in modern age is still huge. We didn't see, I don't know, is it, it's not really in this set at all, but there's a ton of pieces out there with sidestep. And now you're moving 3. I mean, if you have a charge of 6, you can only charge 3 anyway. Like, sidestep, that's dang near charge. Like, that's close to a charge, really, in my eyes. That card is pretty impressive. I would be surprised if that one doesn't see a lot of play, because it doesn't put you in a place where it could really kill you, but it's very, very useful if you are rocking your own sidestep. Okay, the next one we'll take a look at is the Magician. Okay. Characters have mystics. If a character can already use mystics, they deal 1 unavoidable damage instead. That is a little bit nuts. That is a little bit crazy. So if you have a Mystic squad, your Mystics becomes penetrating, unavoidable. You know, so, I mean, Mystical in this set has gotten a lot of boosts. And if you play this at the right time, I know it's random, but, I mean, your opponent's going to be like, do I want to attack now? Do I want to attack this turn? If everybody's got Mystics on your team, that's a pretty darn good card. And that one is, the Magician is participation for OP event month 1. So everybody will have a chance that goes and plays in the organized play event will have a chance to get this. This one's from month 3, and this is participation as well. This is another character that didn't come into play, but everybody knows. Legion here, we got combat values can't be modified or replaced. The Hierophant. The Hierophant? The Hierophant. Tell me in the comments below if I have completely butchered that. Still, the art on these cards alone, very, very cool. And they're big. The cards are big, and the art is wonderful. It reminds me of a tabletop game called Dixit. I don't know if if any of you have played Dixit, but it's a really cool game. It's art on cards. They're beautiful, and then it's your interpretation of them and what one word you kind of pull from that image, and then you try to get people to guess your word. And it's a really fun game. But that being said, Dixit. The art on these cards is very beautiful. So I think they're really, really cool. I think they're worth collecting. I think the art is awesome, and I think I think the game effects are pretty cool. Here we've got Queen of Pentacles. Mystique holding Destiny's mask there. And we all know that Inferno is coming at some point. Destiny's at the heart of that. And I say that Inferno is coming at some point, of course, because I'm speaking as if we are still in the middle of Ten of Swords. Characters can only move in direct paths, diagonal, horizontal, vertical, and can't change direction during movement. Oof, that could be tough. Now, if you've got a team that can place characters somehow, all right, cool, but can't move. Can't move, so that's tough. This last one, and that was the month 3 bricks, and this is also in month 3 in the bricks as well. This one is called The Star. And of course, The Star is Dazzler. I mean, who else would it be? Maybe Lila Cheney, I guess. Results of 1 during attacks and breakaway attempts are 4s instead. Oh, that means I'll stop missing breakaway rolls. I can't roll breakaway to save my life. I roll so many 1s, so that'll be important too. So there you go, a little sneak peek at some more of the good loot that we got to preview here, and that will be going to a fortunate winner of everything I am unboxing here, Ryan Redmond, who gave a big donation to our HeroClix for Huntington's event that we had at the beginning of May. Big shout out to Ryan. This is awesome. This is so awesome. This entire set that we pulled so far. I'm super stoked for this entire set. I hope you guys are as well. I got to say thank you to WizKids for sending me this product. I got to say thank you to Hyper RPG for letting us be in the studio here. Thank you to Nox on the board for giving you guys the closest close-ups of all of the goodies that we've gotten today. And I got to say thank you to you guys. Again, each and every time you tune in, you watch this, it allows me to continue to do this. I sat down and played with a lot of people at that HeroClix for Huntington's event, and to hear in person just how many people enjoy these series really made me feel like we've done something together here as a community. I've listened to you guys a lot over the years. I know some people want to fast forward and just look at the dials, and I get that. But for everybody else that sticks around and listens to the stories and talks about the lore and really just gives me a place to chat about all this stuff that I love so much and really enjoys it, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to all the players who came out to HeroClix for Huntington's. And I want to say thank you to all the players that are going out there into the world and continuing to keep this game alive at your local comic book shops and your local gaming stores. We got to say thank you to them because they give us a place of refuge. They give us our own Krakoa, our own place to go and play and be around people that love the things we love and that play the games we play. And that's really, really important. I got to give a shout out to Jason Levine, my envoy out here at Always Gaming in California. He's moving down south to Memphis. He's looking for a place to play. And to a lot of people out there who say, hey, you know, this organized play event that we have coming up for Ten of Swords, it's really, really cool, but there's no stores that really hold events. Well, Jason started holding events out here in LA when maybe nobody was really playing up in Chatsworth, California. He might be doing the same thing when he gets down to Memphis, starting up a play group down there. If you're in a place and you know this game like the back of your hand, and you're in a place where you want to play, but nobody else is really running events, talk to your local comic shops and your local gaming stores and say, hey, why don't I run an event? Why don't I run an event? Maybe you run it once a month. Maybe you run it twice a month. Maybe you run it once a week. But there are so many players out there who know this game so well and could foster their own community. And I think that's what's next for this game. I think we have the miniatures game that really teaches new people how to play. And now we need new people that are willing to step up from being players into a position of envoy. When I was in Orlando, Florida, I ran games at 3 different stores, 2 different Coliseums of comics, and a small Pokemon card shop. And we had a really, really healthy community, and it was awesome. And being out there, talking with folks, playing, sitting across a map instead of playing virtually, which we were forced to do the last couple of years, it was really, really a great experience. And I think we just keep on fostering that, doing that. People like Jason, I got to give him a shout out. He has kept our community in LA so strong for such a long time, and you guys deserve a round of applause. I know everybody out there has really cool judges and envoys that lead their play groups, but maybe now the gauntlet is thrown down to maybe step up and have some new people step into judging positions and run new games at new stores. We're moving all over this country. A lot of people have picked up and gone out in search of a new place to live or put down roots. And when you do, you know, do some outreach, see if we can't find some new players and run some new games. Anyway, thank you to all of our local comic shops and our gaming stores. You really are our Krakoa. You give us a place to go and play and read the things we love, and we appreciate you. Anyway, tomorrow is going to be our last day. Tomorrow, we'll talk about all the legacy cards as well as see what's in these last 2 boosters. I hope we get a chase. The White Blade would be awesome. If White Blade is a chase, I'm a little bit bummed, but man, what an amazing character that is. And we'll talk about more Ten of Swords tomorrow. We'll see some more figures tomorrow. Hopefully you get a chase. I think we've gotten 3 super rares and a prime, so that might be it. But we do have a lot more cool stuff to see. So I'll see you tomorrow on day 5. And until I do, wait. Oh, I got to put a pause in this. Oh no, I didn't tell you. Again, the set is out for pre-release on July 27th. The set is out for official release on August 3rd. It feels so good to give you guys dates for this stuff. And then starting August 24th or somewhere in the 20s, the first month of the organized play event for Ten of Swords will start. You'll have that same date or around there sometime in September, and then it'll all culminate and end in October with the 3rd month of the organized play event. So buckle up tight and get ready for mutant goodness over the next, man, what, 4 months, 5 months now? Oh, it's going to be so awesome. Anyway, call your local shops, figure out when you can play. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and until I do, may all your rolls be critical hits.